Peace, my family, and raw back to all. Those coming out of that good cocoon for the first time, welcome. This your girl, the butterfly. We about to take off. Let's fly. Just want to send you all that good healing energy your way. Peace, love, happiness, harmony, and abundance. Hope you guys are out there keeping your mind right, in that good mind. How y'all feeling? Hope you guys are most definitely moving on up in your higher nature, family, and most definitely cleansing, because you know what's up. If you don't know, now you know. Yes, we have to cleanse. Alright. I came out here today to express, right? And again, this right here will certainly help you on this good journey. We're gonna read the Holy Tablets, right? And it's a great book of the living. This right here will certainly help you on this good journey with them. So, this is all about getting the right knowledge and the truth of it all. So as you begin to get the ancient stories of things that happened here on this planet, right? And beyond the stars, you begin to see everything for what it really is. One moment. Alright, so this right here will certainly help you on this good journey. So with that being said, family, let's get to it. Let's read. Alright, this is the journey of Nibiru. This is tablet 5 in chapter 1. Alright, let's get to it. It reads, Lo. The planet Hammond was a site used for excavating different metals, elements, and minerals such as plutonium, chlorine, chlorophyll, ammonium, gold, platinum, and silver, as well as scanning the ocean floors for other elements that were beneficial to these beings and the other planets. In the depths of the oceans of this planet Earth are some of the most valuable resources for human life, such as food, such as kelp, different types of fish, and energy sources, such as iodine. In these waters are an abundance of dissolved gases, such as nitrogen, carbon dioxide, and oxygen. Other substances are nitrites and also phosphates, which are needed by plants for photosynthesis. So silicon dioxide is necessary in building of skeletal material in some modern organisms. Remaining elements that are essential to modern life include iron, magnesium, and cobalt, and copper. Several mineral resources lie on ocean floors and in solution above it, such as salt, magnesium, and bromine. Seawater contains all the dissolved substances necessary for the growth of plant and animal life. Other beings know of these resources, and thus they have made many visits, taking what they excavated back to their homes and they continue to make visits to this planet and even live under the seas. Tamat was also used as a hunting ground, a resort. Beings would intergalactically travel from planet to planet during what was called a planetary shopping. Some of these planets in this galaxy were most frequently visited because life existed there in various forms were identity of war, Laha, Mu, Mars, Kishar, meaning the foremost of firm lands, now called Jupiter, including many other in Orions, meaning the skies or heavens. Sixth star sun constellation. Kimmel, meaning to be wealthy, which is the Pleiades constellation, having 7 stars, suns, which means to lend aid, to help, also known as pull off man, and Arcturus, also as the clariton, meaning clear, just to name a few, right? The boundless universes are filled with all kinds of life forms that come. Okay? And let me repeat that one more time. Okay? The boundless universes are filled with all kinds of life forms that come from all types of origin, right? And your planet Earth held the most abundant of life sources. And which is why all kinds of beings frequently visited. Now, let me continue. On one of these routes to the planet Earth, the planet craft Nibiru, meaning the planet of the crossing, also called Murdoch, was making a routine route which was then on an orbit that took 1,024 years, short of an equinox of Earth time, which was a 25,920 year orbit called Elms by the Anunnaki. This craft being 4 times the size of planet Tamat, whose diameter was 15,852 before the splitting, which cut it into 2 equal halves, and Nibiru's diameter being 63,408. The ship Nibiru came in search of other planets that were rich in natural resources and minerals to take back to the planet Earth, to protect it from the damaging ultraviolet rays, right? And it goes on to say, right? And what would make you understand what ultraviolet rays are? Question. Ultraviolet of or relating to the range of invisible radiation, right? Wavelengths from about 4 nanometers on to the border of the X-ray region to about 380 nanometers, just beyond the violet in the visual spectrum. We've looking at the word ultra meaning beyond. In the Latin, ultra still meaning beyond, and the word violet meaning the hue of a shortwave end of the visible spectrum, invoked in the human observer by radiant energy with wavelengths of approximately 380 to 420 nanometers. Any of a group of colors, reddish and blue and hue that may vary in lightness and saturation from the Middle English, from the Old French, voila, in Latin. And it goes on to say, as for the color red, the hue of the long wave end of the visual spectrum, and it has invoked in the human observer by radiant energy with wavelengths of approximately 630 to 750 nanometers. Any of a group of colors that may vary in lightness and saturation and whose hue resembles that of the life liquid, right, called the blood. One of the adjective or light primaries from the Middle English, from the Old English, red. And as for the color blue, right, the hue of that portion of the visible spectrum lying between green, which is yellow, and blue, right, and indigo, which is blue and violet. And it is invoked in the human observer by radiant energy with wavelengths of approximately 450 to 490 nanometers. Any of the group of colors that may vary in lightness and saturation, one of the actual or light primaries, blue, or the Old English meaning blue, or of Germanic origin, right? It goes on to say, as for the word ray, right, it's a thin line or narrow beam of light or other radiant energy, radiance light on the premise, and it appears as purple, ranging from violet to red. And now it says, now, with the understanding of ultraviolet rays, you must be able to grasp the damage that was doing in reds. Let me repeat that one more time. And now, with an understanding of ultraviolet rays, you must be able to grasp the damage that it was doing in reds and is doing here on Earth, right? The danger is the destruction of the ozone, and as it happened there, it's also happening here. What is ozone? A blue gaseous ultra of oxygen formed naturally from the atomic oxygen by electric discharge or exposure to ultraviolet radiation. It is an unstable, powerfully bleaching, poisonous oxidizing agent with a pungent, irritating odor used to deodorize air and purify water, treat industry waste, and as a bleach, right? It's pure air, and it's basically it's a particle of oxine, meaning to smell. And so in order for Ritzians, right, to protect their planet, they sought out gold, and the gold of this planet is good. Sound familiar? This great planet-sized ship, Nibiru, came near to your solar system, traveling at the speed of light, which is 186,272 miles per second. Yet it is found to be exactly 186,282.396 miles per second, or 299,000, or not 99,000, 299 million, right? 792,458 kilometers per second. Goes on to say, it came from Alun, the ninth galaxy, a tri-solar system having 3 suns, also called the Great Galaxy, known as the place on high, called heaven or even Jannat. On a journey through the stars that took 25,920 years. A year is called a hymn by the Sumerians, who were taught by the Anunnaki. This great ship, Nibiru, as it was later known, was a mothership. And Nibiru at the time held 12 smaller cylinder ships called shams that were to be launched out from it. When Nibiru reached its destination, Nibiru was equipped with 4 separate atmospheres. What would make you understand what the 4 atmospheres are? Question. It goes on to say, they are 1. Outside of the spheres where there is no air, there is no atmosphere, Nibiru is able to adjust to the environment, okay, or to that environment. When you come into this dome-like planet where there is oxygen and air, Nibiru is capable of adjusting to that environment. When you go to the Antarctica, you would have to take your ships into the glaciers, right? And Nibiru is capable of adjusting to that environment. When you have to take your craft beneath the sea, Nibiru is able to adjust into that environment. That is the 4 separate atmospheres, right? That all the crafts titled Nibiru as a part of the Nibiru fleet is capable of adjusting to. That is, they are capable of adjusting to all atmospheres of change or of changes such as Ta, earth, Mu, water, Nifu, air, and Sat, fire. The command to activate this is simply Tamu Nefo Sat. Okay? Nibiru and all of its crafts were also equipped with 4 separate magnetic fields, which is a person, a place, and an object, or a situation that exerts attraction. 1. Nibiru is capable of being magnetized or attracted by a magnet, meaning, okay? And it goes on to say 2 is to operate by means of magnetism, such as magnet recorder, and it relates to the magnetic poles of the earth, such as the magnetic compass bearing, and it has an unusual power or the ability to attract. A gravity from the magnetism from the swirling vortex of each planet at 30 degrees, and its magnetic attraction is creating a magnetic grid or the flow of electricity when an object comes in contact with its pulling or attracting powers. The magnetic attraction by appearance and emotion or desire. The grand mothership Nibiru can hold many thousands of crown-shaped crafts, but this mission had only 2,880 crown-shaped shams. It is also has a fleet of 24 crystal cities with crystal-like domes, right? Giving them the ability to break down light as a premise would and be able to make use of the energy. It has solar panels that are the size of a pin's head or less than that, and can generate millions and millions of megawatts of energy as well. As Nibiru passed the various suns or stations set up in the galaxy, Nibiru drew an energy charge from them. Nibiru was set up for holographic interdimensional transport. That is, and it is capable of cloning itself holographically to appear in more than one place at a time, making it virtually impossible to determine which is the holographic projection from the original. Nibiru is capable of traveling distance from point to point or through space and time interdimensionally. It can go through time, future, or past throughout interfering or without interfering with the principle of now or then. And it manned over 144,000 crew members held by the 24 elite beings called the Yahwehans. 12 Yah agreeable and 12 way disagreeable that stood 7 feet tall. However, on this flight, on the craft Nibiru had to first pass by the planet Ea, which means he who houses is water, or he whose house is water, and it's now called Neptune, as it did many times before. The planet Neptune is a twin planet to the planet Anu, Uranus. By twin planet, I mean that Neptune is very similar in some aspects, identical to the planet Uranus, and the planet Uranus was originally called Kabat Shannon Alma, or Shannon Alma, the planet which is the double. Uranus also influenced by the gravity of Neptune, and the gases that make up the atmosphere of Neptune and Uranus are exactly the same. The size of Neptune and Uranus are similar, and their colors are identical, and their rotational times are similar. Uranus being 17 hours in Earth's time, and Neptune being 16.5 hours, the planet Uranus practically rotates laying down, so the size, if looked at from the wrong angle, can nearly be mistaken. Uranus tilts at extreme angles of 98 degrees, and you could almost say that the planet lies on its side as it travels around the sun. This means that the north and south polar regions of Uranus experience alternate periods of day and shadow hour, and summer and winter, each of which is up to 42 Earth years long. The temperatures of this planet Uranus on the other side of this is hidden from the sun is the same as on the other side facing this sun. So as Nibiru came nearing to Neptune, its gravitational pull caused electric storms on that planet on that Friday afternoon at 1300 hours of Earth's time. Some would say 24 billion years ago of Earth's time, and caused Nibiru to go slightly off its orbit. As the crash, or as not the crash, but as the craft Nibiru passed by Neptune, the planet Anu, Uranus came from behind the planet Neptune, and it caused the appearance of a plug. And that plug pulled on Nibiru's orbit and caused the great ship of Nibiru to begin to lollop in its orbit from fear of crashing. This happened because the planet Uranus was not originally seen in the solar system when Nibiru made its first visits. Uranus moving from behind Neptune caused Nibiru to veer off its own original path in order to not hit Uranus, and made it collide into another planet then called Meldak, called also Vulcan. Alright, let's go on. The original name for the planet Vulcan is Meldak, and Meldak was between Mars and Jupiter. Meldak was 27,500 miles in diameter. Meldak had a population of billions living under the sea in the sub-cities, which was occupied by the Meldakians, and the Veldor, which was occupied by the Troglodytes or Troglodytes. Alright? So, those are species on that planet. Alright? So that is a good place to stop for now. Alright? So, again, my family, if you are interested in this and you want to know more about what happened in the heavens beyond the stars, right? This is a good place to start to see how, this all came about. Alright? So, the Most High wanted you to know this, and this is why I'm sharing it with you. Okay? Alright? So I'm going to leave it at that for now. Again, if you are interested, it is on the channel just for you. Alright? Know that you are loved so much beyond this world. Oh, yes. And in it, begin to spread that love, family, one to another. Be that peace that you seek. Release our master teacher, Dr. Malachi Seer, out. Peace, shalom, Ashuk, divine love, family, and Wadu. And it's all.